We're going to get going in a second, guys. Don't worry. I'm just having my last little bit of coffee.
And yeah, we'll fire everything back up again. I'll drop the music as well in a bit, but we'll wait. All right, we'll wait for the map to re-roll, and we'll get this going. We're going to play 2 today, I think. One of which is going to be normal, and then the second game that we're going to play is going to be pre-made teams, followed by a round of picks. Drop this a little bit, it's a bit too loud for me. So yeah, we have a normal game on normal, followed by a special game where we have 2 stacks going at it, and they'll then pick from the rest of our player base. So if you're watching and you want to play, you're absolutely able to get into both of those games. The first one will be in a slightly faster game mode. We're going to be playing on normal, I believe. So yeah, it's going to be good. We just need to wait for the map to reroll, and then I will start up our captain's game. And let me do a few things first as well. Let's tag admin vote only. Yeah. And hopefully we get 2 captains. We don't always, in fact, most of the time we have no captains. But I have faith that one of these weeks, and it might not be this week, we finally managed to solve that problem of somebody putting their hand up and going, I know who's good. And obviously, if I was there, I'd be doing it. But somebody has to referee this stuff. And yeah, if you need a link to the Discord, feel free to. May as well do this just for anybody that doesn't know. Yeah, just in case anybody is new, we do every now and again. We get some decent numbers. We get some decent amount of new people in. So yeah, waiting for the map to re-roll. We'll then have a vote on the map, and then we'll get going. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a really good weekend. It's so far been quite good. Can't complain. You know, things have been worse. What if you don't know how to read? Yeah, there are wider problems for you, Marek. All right. Okay. Let's see if they want this map or not. I like it already. Oil's close. We have some nice little stone patches just out of main. Uranium is directly on top. I quite like this. Really? Soldier wants to people want to re-roll this? There's so much oil. And you literally have a shelf here that defends your base. I mean, it's up to you guys. You're the ones playing, but I'd keep this. This is ridiculous. Uranium real close. You have like this pipeline of... Josie, hey, thanks for joining us. Hope you're having a good weekend. Are you playing at all today? Are you in the game? If you are, feel free to watch. It's not like you're going to be learning any deep secrets by following the stream as well as the game itself. I know there's a couple of guys that do play, actually. And Lukey Luke, thank you for the follow. Welcome. Hope you guys are having a good weekend. My name's Ghosty. I'm going to be refereeing this game, as I referee every game on the weekend, for when it comes to biter battles. If you're new and you have any questions, feel free to ask them. We're at the moment in quite a stagnant part of this game. Stretch, I will need to. We're going long today. We're going deep. This will be a long stream. We have 2 games on the cards. A normal game of biter battles, followed by some pre-made teams of, I guess, probably what you'd argue is the highest skill that we have in the server, and then followed by picking of the normal player base. So we have a lot of people here, and they can't wait to start. So at the moment, if you're new, I may as well explain what we're currently doing. We're trying to decide on a good map. And at the moment, because everything's randomly generated, some of the maps are coming out not so great, with lots of water features that are in the way of where you'd normally be building all of your kind of structures. And I like to get this out of the way as soon as possible. My drawing, obviously the bugs will be coming at your base in this direction, and having water features are a great addition to your defensive side of life. However, if they're huge and in the way, that's going to get in the way of you trying to build your production blocks. So let's say, for instance, your red is your production block that you want to be kind of across here. Everything is kind of crashing in on you when it comes to water being in the way of that. So you have to be cognizant of how you want to start the game. I would re-roll this map. This looks grim, but stranger things have happened. I believe they just passed up a really good map seed. So yeah, we'll have to see how we go. This looks horrific. Are we really playing this? Are we voting on this already? No, this is... This is grim. Why would you play that? Okay, we're doing it. A cursed map for map 1. Let me just type in my credentials. My name is Ghosty. and I am refereeing both games. I don't want to play, I just want to watch. However, I will be adjudicating. Great word. We have Dradrian as a captain, trying to redeem his... I think he's on a losing streak. I don't want to be throwing shade on Dradrian's honourable name, but I've yet to see a win. I'm not becoming captain. You don't have to become captain. I don't know why they've chosen to play this map, see. This is horrendous. But we do have 2 captains, which is a great look to begin the game. Sometimes we go around the houses a little bit and eventually somebody puts their hand up. For anybody that's joining late, you will be able to come into the game. But I said we'll begin here. Bullen, you're going to sit this one out, my man. I'm going to flip a coin real quick, and then we'll see who picks first. Heads, Dradrian, tails, the soldier. Tails, it is the soldier will pick first. And very much like school PE, we'll filter our players from this side of the map into their respective teams. And as the player list builds, I'll kind of walk you through what we're currently doing. We're trying to pick players that have certain play styles. Carl's obviously a very strong player, so the soldiers picked him to maybe play as an outpost, although today it's going to be normal mode. Two is... Alright, so the picking phase has begun. And as we zoom out real quick, I'm going to point out why I don't like this map. And why, if I was playing it, I'd struggle. And you probably guessed it already. There are these really large, egregious water bodies that are in the way. Now, that's good in many respects. I think I hear my dog waking up. They have... Apologies for that. Phone's just going off. Yeah, these water bodies are in the way. Massively in the way. You want to have large open areas to build and construct your kind of structures. Hello, dog. Are you awake? Chocolate, mate. It's good to see you too. I thought you were sleeping. No? Okay, running away. Fair enough. Do what you want. Apologies for that. This isn't a dog stream. Yeah, these water bodies are somewhat in the way. Now, again, they can provide you defensive structures because the dog was meant to be asleep. He's had some medication recently. He's meant to be sleeping, but he likes to run in and steal my shoes every now and again, which is absolutely illegal. So, in this game mode, your job in life as a team, and we have Team South here and Team North, to protect this rocket silo. This is your objective. This is your throne. If you lose this, the game is over. And the way that you lose this is that bugs which spawn from either the very south of the map, down here, or if you're on the north side, up here, they kind of, over the course of the game, will run down the map and try and fight everything that they kind of see of yours to get to that objective to kill your silo off. Sounds difficult, it is, but there'll be a big team of players to help build walls and defenses. At the moment, we have a lot of people ready to play this game. So I need to make sure that I put myself on the spectator tab so that I don't get picked. We should see at the end of this, round about 15 on 15, 20 on 20 is a strong amount of players that we normally have. And at the moment, what they're doing is each captain is eyeing up a particular player that they want in their team. And each player, in each kind of set of players that you pick, have different play styles. Smiling NASA, for instance, is an outposter. We will cover that later. Rune Boggler is a speedrunner. He's very quick. So, yeah, so far, some of the strongest players in the server have been picked. And then we'll whittle our way down to some of the newer players like Mustique and Dogpuss and these guys who we see maybe sometimes, but they're still quite new. And we have some of these like seasoned players like Enkling, Friendly Fire, Grandlich, Cognitive Fun, Dog. These guys play every week. So you kind of want them for their knowledge of the game and their understanding of how this game goes out. So you'll see as well on the map, it's kind of, there's no inherent advantage of being either north or south. So there's a huge river that divides the map, and the geometry and the topography of the map is mirrored. So no one side has an advantage here. The same copper patch on the north exists on the south. It's just flipped. Now, I'm having a little scan to the edges of the map, because I imagine that there'll be some outposters in a normal game, but it'll purely be on speed. So I believe we're going to have a really spammy game, at least for game one, that will not last very long. Followed by... can we speed this? There we go. We're starting to pick up a bit of momentum now. At the moment, the game is not being played. We're slowly but surely finding out who's going to be on south and who's going to be on north. So I mentioned earlier on that you want to keep hold of your silo as long as possible, and the way that you do that is you build defenses around your base. You build enormous amounts of defensive structures, keep all of the bugs as they kind of flood onto the map towards your silo. The idea is that one of your players, if not many of your players, will build a big defensive box of walls and lasers and flame turrets and sometimes, not always, sentry turrets. And they'll kind of keep safe the insides of your base, the internal part or workings of your base. So for instance, if in the blue square is everything that you want to keep hold and dear to you, the red squares are the things that you're protecting by. That's easier said than done. This map, it looks cursed. So we'll have to see how these teams manage to kind of figure this out, but they need to speed this up. This is taking a while, and there are a lot of players to still be picked as well. But yeah, like I said, we'll get going on that. I'll quickly take some water, and I'll keep scanning around. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. There is more than enough time to explain what's going on, and there's going to be more than one game today. So I've got loads of opportunity to, if you are new, explain to you what's going on. Really nice copper patch, really nice iron patch. Again, stone's looking healthy as well. 400k. Main is not going to be. Coal is quite low though. I mean, you're going to need to find a sizable coal patch. I don't know why they picked this map. This is ridiculous. Oil is close-ish. Okay, outpost locations. Starting to see some pings come across the map. So we're going to end up with about 15 on 15, 20 on 20, and not everybody in that team on south or north is going to play in this kind of main area, this central area around our objective. There will be kind of sub-bases being built on the outskirts of the map. And I believe one of the teams has kind of identified this as being a really healthy idea. I do like this as well. Tons of coal, tons of iron, lots of copper, and, coincidentally, healthy stone patch with some oil. Yeah, I could get behind this, actually. This is really good. Although we won't see any rockets in this first game, we'll probably almost certainly see rockets in game 2. But yeah. They're leaving Neuro to last pick. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. There's still so many players. So very good question, and great transition for me to turn in what is quite a boring opening to this. I do apologise. Normally we'll have started by now. For some strange reason, either our captains are drunk or not sure of what to do. But so the biters are always aggressive on the map, and they will always come if you're on the south from below you, or if you're on the north from above you. The strength of the biters are dictated naturally over time by, as we see, this will be kind of the attack patterns from the south, and the north will have these kind of attack patterns from the north. The biters naturally get stronger, and there's more of them over time. The key stat to pay attention to is here, this evolution number that both sides have on the left-hand side of the screen. Each team has the opportunity to push the evolutionary number of the opposite side up by throwing science at the opposition side. As well as that, the threat number denotes how many bugs are on the map at any given time. At the moment, it's set to a negative. At the moment, it's set to a negative purely because we want the teams to be safe whilst they pick their sides. And again, these are all the late leavers that will be joining, people that joined us before we started the initial pick. But I like this, though. We're going to be hovering around 20 on 20. And for a Saturday afternoon game, genuinely, I think that's some really good numbers. So we're just going to ask, there's a couple more people that might need to answer. Maybe a few of them are AFK. If not, we'll filter these guys in. So the way that you pump the bugs numbers up is you spend science to throw across the opposition team. And obviously the different tiers mean that, you have to spend a bit more and kind of get through the tech tree. And each time you throw, let's say, for instance, 10 red jugs, being the most basic science, you'll pump the bug's evolutionary number up by a small amount. Now, obviously, at the beginning of the game, you need that red science and the green and the military to kind of research into your own tech tree. So you could go down the lines of, let's just build a load of red science and spam it. But you kind of want to be using that for research. And as we kind of see, as we go down the tech tree, the more you use your science to research and not to aggressively throw to the other team and pump their other bugs up, you get access to, for instance, better grenades, better power batteries, solar panels, for instance, defenders, flamer turrets. So in one hand, you want to be holding that science in your base and researching it in your labs, but also you kind of want to be kind of pushing your enemy's evolutionary number up so the bugs become stronger. And the stronger they become, they start to be able to rip through walls, right? They'll start to be able to kill off your towers because there'll be so many of them and they'll be armored. Now, at the beginning, they start at very weak. And over the course of the game, they'll become much, much stronger. So, for anybody new, my name's Ghosty. I'm currently refereeing this game. It will start very soon. Trust me, it will start very, very soon. We now have 17 on South, 16 on North. Those numbers will climb, and at the moment, both teams will be talking in Discord about their different strategies they're going to employ, about kind of weak areas that they need to make sure that don't remain weak for too long. But it seems set. All right, I'm going to give them a few more minutes because they've been talking for about 15 now about the strategies. I'll filter new players as we go, but these seem like some really strong teams, with North having next pick so that it can go 17 on 17. So we'll collapse that down for now. And you build science in your factory in this area, this main area. And obviously it's a bit weird because there's some lakes here as well as lots of forest that you'll need to deforest. You use your science to research to get deeper into the tech tree, hoping that you can get to a point where you can have lots of these late game sciences, purple, yellow, and space. And when you throw them at the enemy bugs, it will manipulate them to become bigger, to become stronger, for there to be more of them. And what's great about this game mode is that this map is random every single time you play this game. And this is a live game that you're able to come and play right now for anybody that's wanting something to do. You can watch, and obviously I'm grateful for everyone being here watching. But if you want to just play this game, feel free to ask away in chat and I'll send you the links or show you how to get in. We have a Discord as well, and I'll put the link to that in here as well. Just for anybody that's new that doesn't know already. I'm sure that most of you do, but for anybody that's new that wants to get involved or just learn a little bit more about what's currently going on, this is the link to the Bite Battles Discord. We host weekly games as well as kind of events. There's another event that we're hosting that's going on later today. So there's kind of a special game, like a special event after this. All right, 1 minute and we're going. 1 minute and we go. So we're going to see different strategies employed. So what makes this game so interesting is that, yes, the map is random. The players that you play with also have different skills. So there are some players that are defensively minded, some are offensively minded, and we'll see that today. Some are outpost mains, like Dr. Claw, Carl, Dampy, Cognitive Fun, Everlord. These guys like to build outposts, and we'll see that later once the game starts. And some people play main base, and main base is effectively the starting area. So the goal of main base is to get up to at least blue sign. So this opening starting area here, or maybe even larger, maybe this area, is, where most of the core of our player base is going to be playing in, and they're going to be building everything that we need. All right, we're going to get this going. It's time. We spent enough time picking, so it's time to get this going on. And instead of me just explaining it, we can now watch. So if you've got any questions, feel free to ask. This is a really tree-heavy map. So we need to see if they can. Oh, we love paint, don't we? And the numbers I'm massively a fan of. So yeah, they're gonna have to do some deforesting. Nice to have you with us, Cizek. I'm almost certain I'm saying that name wrong each week. Is it Cizek? If there's a way of phonetically pronouncing it, just let me know. Yeah, Ling's saying nades. You need it, like Cisk. Ah, got you. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Why have they picked this map? Have you seen this? There's lakes that look like Japan. There's lakes that look like, well, Canada, I guess, if you were to like tilt your head a little bit. There's just, these water bodies are ridiculous. There's no way you have room to build main unless you build it here. Like, on top of really close oil. I think, yeah, because it's normal, I guess. They're being quite, like, understanding of, like, what currently is needed. Spam. And I think green, right? We're going to see green spam. They do get attacked less, but they're not immune to being attacked. And an outpost normally has a function that gets us into the late game. Now, for this first game, I don't think we're going to be seeing any huge rocket outposts, but we launch multiple rockets in these games. So if you're a Factorio player and you're kind of like, I've never seen late game before, trust me, today, if you stick around long enough, you will see multiple rockets get launched. Because with the numbers that we have, it doesn't take more than 2.5 to 3 hours before we get to that point, which is kind of nuts. I know that for speedrunners, that's kind of nothing, but for teams of players that are a mixed, let's be honest, it's a mixed bag of skill level here. Some players are very, very good, and others need, a bit of work, and that's fine. Everybody's learning. No hate, no shade. If you want to get a bit more understanding of this current game, have a look at this. This game will last about an hour, I think. And if you're bored and you like stats and numbers, feel free to click on this. This will give you a breakdown of everybody's MMR, everybody's ELO in the current game. And obviously the higher numbers being our captains and our better players, all the way down to sub 800, which are new players who have lost a few games. So you start with 800 MMR or 800 ELO, and then you kind of, climb as you win games. We also have a captains one as well, but that's separate to this. And yeah, this game could go on for 2 hours. I can imagine that we're going to get to blue signs. If we go any further, that's kind of nuts for a normal game. But again, we have some good players here. So yeah, it looks like to the west, smelting arrays are going down. Well, how about this, Ling? How about this? How many games have we watched where defense has been third or fourth priority? And sideswipes, they just happen so frequently. And for anybody new, like most of the time you build your base and you build in this kind of area, and the bugs typically will attack directly towards your base, right? They're going to come directly towards your silo and want to kill your silo. However, it's not uncommon for the bugs to find their way, I don't know how, but around in this direction, and then before you know it, the side areas of your base that don't have a wall get attacked. And we saw that a lot recently, big, huge defenses like on the front of your base, right? So imagine if this white box is your kind of front wall, and then this thin box is your side wall, something like this. It's very common, right? So the bugs are going to get really strong and they're going to slam into this huge brick wall that you're going to build, this huge castle, tower that you've created. And they're going to get pushed back by the lasers and the flame turrets, and that's fine. But these weak sidewalls, man, it takes 2 or 3 waves and they're just going to crumble. And before you've got robots, before you have automation, like real automation, that might be the undoing of a team or two. So we will see that today at some point. I'm not sure if we're going to see huge defensive errors, but we do see it every week. So, you can't wait to see that. We do have Carl's multi... I mean, this is very specific. This isn't by random. This is Carl knowing exactly what he needs to get a base off the ground. He's just blueprinted down the exact number of smelters that he needs. And you love to see it. As a new player as well, I would say that there is a role for you in these games. You don't just have to sit by and watch. Feel free to ask questions in chat as well. I do like to kind of educate. My name's Ghosty. I probably am. No, in fact, I am. I'm the best player on the server. Stay humble, obviously, but I'm kind of the undisputed champion of this game mode, especially in the captain's arena. So I am a bit of a legend. Don't let that scare you off, though. I am also very humble and very nice and hilarious at the same time. But yeah, if you're new and you're sat down going, what is all this? How do I even try and help 16 other players or 17 other players? I don't even know what I'm doing. I would say filling out blueprints is the best thing that you can do. You know, grab some iron plates out of these kind of buildings, these stone furnaces. Deluded, how dare you? Don't sass me. This is my stream. I can be as deluded as I like. If you want to be delusional, you create your own stream. So I haven't played in a while. That's the weird thing, is I genuinely haven't had time to play. And then here we go, the hate towards the map. So yeah, grab some plates, some copper plates, grab some iron plates, and start filling in all of these blueprints, right? You can build, from the very beginning of the game, you can build belts, although these are going the wrong way. You can build stone furnaces with just bricks, and you can build these yellow inserters, as well as these electric poles. And you don't need to be high skilled to do that, but it needs to be done. You need this stuff to be on and automating all of your plates and all of your different kind of components to your base, as well as making power, because you're going to need huge power blocks in order to kind of fuel your base. So, you know, coincidentally, if you don't want to build that big blueprint, there's also these large power blocks that need building as well. And also down the line, they're going to need coal, which, you know, the lovely fact is we've got coal right next to the silo. So yeah, we can see both teams normally start off in this way as well. You know, burner drills mining some ore that go into either a box for stone or into a stone furnace for plates, and that gives our players an early game amount of resources. Meanwhile, we see some outposters moving to the east. Yeah, I think that's also a very valid point from Ling. If you are a new player, you can have a bit... Oh, you want to play? Okay, you can play, mate. Excellent. We've got a couple of people still kind of filtering into the game as we've just started. We're only kind of a couple minutes in. Anybody else? So far, no. Cheeto goes north to make it 17 on 17. Yeah, I wouldn't mess with this. This is very standard issue stuff. So as a new player, if you see this go down, try not to influence this too much, because it's already optimized. You know, Carl is a very seasoned player. He wins a lot of these games. And so my kind of, my advice would be just help him help you. Build the blueprint up. More blueprints will go down in this area here, and you can contribute to the initial kind of skeleton of the base. If you don't want to do that, there's loads of other things you can do, such as offense, being a threat farmer. We should see some threat farming today. But the game mode is beginner friendly if the beginners are willing to listen. It's not a dictatorship, but the reason we have captains is each captain has like a vision for how the game should be won. And so they're in the Discord, they're talking to their team, they're organizing the strategy that they think will win the game. And so to go against that is to go against your team effectively. During the week, when you have a normal game, you can do whatever you want. But in these games, it's better to have a role. So just say, look, I'm going to be the power guy, you know, like Bridge, for instance, here, or Walrus. I'm going to build all of this power, and that's my role for the first 20 minutes of the game. Or I'm going to be an outposter, and I'm going to build an outpost that's going to provide something for my team, like lots and lots of power. Or, you know, I'm going to build, the initial smelting, which again, as we see on the north, is going down a lot slower. The south are really kind of plugging this in already, whereas the north is still figuring it out. So, yeah, they're somewhat ahead. How far do you think we get into this game? Do you think we go to purple signs? Do you think we go past blue? As I dive into the tech tree, we can see that the north are going for their green signs early on. Yeah, I think the frustration for new players for me is that this isn't vanilla. You don't have time to make large mistakes. So like grabbing every RoboPort out of main to kind of take on a wild journey with you is not a good idea. I'd heavily invest in telling my newer players kind of what they can do and what's the best use of their time, for instance. And it doesn't have to be building these boring nerd structures. Like, look at all these nerds nerding out with all their nerdy smelters. Like, why do that? You could, for instance, get a gun, grab some grenades, and go and fight the bugs, because at the moment, they're only 2% evolved. So with a couple of bullets in your backpack and a gun, not the pistol, but like a submachine gun, these guys are really, really easy to kill. And that brings me on to another meta part of this game mode, which is threat farming. The reason why I've become such a humble legend is through threat farming. You can influence the map and your team by fighting the bugs and by killing their numbers and reducing them into a negative. So this is Helldivers 2, but just 2D, basically. You land in the map. It's not Helldivers. Although, holy crap, I love that game. I've played it for 2 days now, and I don't know about you, but there's just something about calling in airstrikes and gun turrets that's just so much fun. I've not been paid to say that. I'm not a sponsor of the game itself, but I'm having a blast with that game. All right, 2 new players coming in. That'll make it 18 on 18. You can join at any time as well, and we still have a couple of strong players still wanting to come in. As we can see on the north now, they have got their smelting up and running, and we'll begin to see Yellow Rush. No. We're not going to get that deep into this game, surely. Surely you can't be serious. I'd imagine they've got Lower Dark on their team. They could go for a Purple Rush. I only just saw that. The Girati spam. Terrible. The South are miles ahead, though. I mean, the thing with this game mode is you can get an advantage, but like what you do with that advantage is really key. So the South have got the initial. Yeah, do you know what? I will. I'll throw a prediction out. Who wins? Oh, let's put the North on the top one. Otherwise, people get confused. I'll give you 20 minutes. So don't feel like you need to predict right away. I like the look of South at the moment. And again, here we see Monkey Lol. Perfect. What a great opportunity for me to talk to you about threat farming. What Monkey Lol is doing at the moment is something that is very unique to Biter Battles. You have the opportunity, whilst the bugs are very weak, to come into their area and fight them. You do this with, at the beginning, you have, shotgun available to you, you have machine guns, and you heal yourself with fish. Where's my fish at? Let's skip past fish. It's been a long day. So later on, you'll need grenades as well to kind of blow them up in packs. What Monkey Law's doing is he's driving the threat into a negative. And when the bug's threat is on the negative, they are not aggressive until they spawn that amount of bugs. So the North need 250 bugs to spawn before they end up in a positive threat, meaning that they can't aggress onto any part of the base. Why is this important? Well, I'll explain. When the threat number is positive, the bugs are aggressive and they're coming for you. When it's in a negative, they stay inside their base, passive, waiting to build their number up. So by going and fighting them early, you're giving yourself a window of time where you're not being attacked, and that's really important. You need that window so that you can build your base in peace. So this one player, Monkey Law, is one of 18, and he's making sure the whole map, all of this for the North, for Lower Dark out here, for Neuro and Mystique out here, they don't have to worry about being attacked at all. And as long as he keeps doing this, driving the number deeper and deeper into the hundreds, maybe even into the thousands, and when I threat farm, we'll normally end up at minus 200k, which is a huge, huge amount of time that your team has where they can build up their defenses in peace. So although I like the look of South, unless somebody starts threat farming, this really is a great play to make at the beginning of the game. And you never know, this could pay off dividends. These games are normally very close as well. So I'm impressed. I didn't think anybody would be doing this in a normal game. But the North, generally speaking, as long as they can get their shit together down here, and slowly but surely it's getting together. I mean, there's only 2 or 3 people building this. You'd want a few more. As we see, there's lots of people kind of building power and like meandering around here. We have no research going on as well. I basically break the internet. Maths begins to to cease to exist. And we have our first death of the game. Dogopus. Unfortunate. There had to be somebody, right? So yeah, that's my main game plan, at least when I get into a map, is that these guys, people like Carl and people like Dradrin, they have like an idea of what they want to do, and so this is very rigid. It's going to be this way because the ratios have been calculated. I don't mind filling out the blueprint, but the moment I can, I'll get away and do something like this. For the reason that it's so efficient early on. It costs you nothing other than your time, and it gives you an advantage, which I think is imbalanced. I'm going to be honest. It's a really good play to make if you're a new player, and I'm going to be honest. If I was new to the game, this is what I'd ask people to do: grab a gun, grab some bullets, follow me. You only want a couple of people to do this. 2 to 3 people at max is nice. You can also build a little defensive base out here, making grenades, like automating grenades and ammo for you too. But if you just want to shoot stuff, it's really effective, and it takes a while, especially in this early game when the bugs aren't that evolved, they're not that aggressive. To spawn 500 of them, we could be looking at a good couple of minutes of just not being attacked. Yeah, of course you can, mate. Of course you can. Are you in the game at the moment? Are you on? Yeah, you are, right. Like, enable pick for late players. We've also got people like Pavev and Hydrochronics and Cracks to come in, so there's still people waiting about. But yeah, good to have you with us, mate. You're going north, unfortunately. You're going to the Girati spam. So have fun, good luck. So yeah. And as we can see now, we have another outpost, Cogs out here, making some belts. But I'm going to be honest, the South have really got the opener to this game wrapped up. You got to love the look of this. You're already building your inserters, you're already building your belts, meaning that you're transitioning into, green signs. And as we all know, but for those of you who don't, who need refreshing, that's absolutely fine. The way that you make red signs is you have basic copper plates, iron gear wheels, and you put that into an assembly machine and you'll produce red signs. And coincidentally, to make green signs, which is tier 2, which will unlock more of the tech tree for us, logistic signs, you need yellow inserters and yellow belts. They'll go into an assembly machine and that will spit out green signs. Oh, also, if the music's really crap and you want me to change it, let me know. More than happy to change the music. It's kind of just on through convenience rather than... And if you can't hear any music, I'm more than happy to turn it up. But here we go. Carl is going to stick down our signs building buildings. And we should see here now green signs from this lower stack and red up here on the north, meaning that they can really start tearing through the research. And again, with so many players on the team, we're going to see the early green and red sciences just absolutely fly through the labs. We're talking about rows of 10, 10 by 10 or, 5 by 5. Coincidentally, the north are closing in on that, but they're just behind the curve a little bit. And I wonder why that is. So yeah, there's lots of people running around here in this area. And they are researching as well. It might not be so much of a negative. Okay. This is different. I like this. So, alright, so Monkey Lol, instead of him... Enjoy your... Other restaurants are available, but enjoy your McDonald's. I'll let you know if anything major happens, but that'll be more fun than this, mate. Spend a bit of time with your family. Or maybe that's why you're here, is to get away from them. But either way, enjoy McDonald's. I am the Bite Battles champion, you are correct. But yeah, I'm ironically English, aren't I? It's unfortunate that. Unfortunately, old dogs, new tricks. But enjoy your Mackies anyway, mate. Have a bit of quality time with your daughter. And this will be here for when you get back anyway. Well, I'm happy for you to be here anyway, so yeah. What's your order, by the way? What's the Mackey's order? Are you a Big Mac guy? Surely not the fish option. I've never met anybody that eats the fish option. the fillet of fish. Jesus Christ. If you go to a burger joint to order fish, something's going wrong in your life. Or you're genuinely a sadist and you just hate everything and you need everything to hate you. As we see the bugs now crashing down on top of Carl. They are very weak, so they can get shot. But yeah, we're going to have lots of labs doing lots of research, and that should push us through this early game. Burger of some form. Quarter pounder with cheese is good, man. A little bit of pickle, a little bit of onions. Oh, make me hungry, mate. Make me hungry. So yeah, the way that I identify the early game is that you get to steak. Oh, I love steak. Yeah, this is the early game, effectively. Red science and green science. This gives you access to all the stuff that you need to get your team off the ground. So let's take a look. They're researching faster steel axe, heavy armor, and then increased bullets and iron steak. For the price of Mackies nowadays, mate, you could go into a butcher's and get a decent cut. Slap it on the grill. Job is done. But yeah, you need access to engines, for instance. You need access to electric energy distribution. Unlike vanilla, red belts aren't a thing. Enjoy, mate, enjoy. And I'll see you when you get back. This music is super suspect. I'm going to change it if you guys don't mind. It's like something out of a 1970s porno. I don't know why I chose that. What have we got in this respect? Any good playlists? All right, this is apparently royalty free. Doubt it though. I haven't been black flagged or red flagged yet, but I worry that I'm going to stick one of these on and I'm going to get banned. There is a way of playing copyrighted music as well. I just don't know how. Like, I don't know what you have to do. But whatever, it doesn't matter. Let me know if you can hear the music. If not, I'll turn it up a little bit. I also don't want to deafen anybody. So if you can hear it, that's great. And if you can't, tell me and I'll pump it up a wee bit. So yeah, you love to see it. A bit of disco going on in the labs here, you know. Oh, but they are getting, okay, the bugs are coming through. So obviously because the South have that positive number, the bugs are managing to make their way through. Minus threat means that there's a player on the North side that is fighting the bugs and killing them off. That's a great question, very good question. Because they're fighting the bugs off, it's driving their number down into the minus hundreds, and later on in the game, we'll see them drive that into the minus thousands. What that means is the North need to spawn 400 bugs in order for anything to happen on the map in terms of aggression. So normally the bugs are aggressive when they're in the positive, and when they're in the negative, they're passive. And that's the difference between North and South at the moment. The North actually have an outpost that will be building grenades and that will be building ammo, which I think is really cool. I mean, I'm a huge fan of this. You know, build an outpost that can help your threat farm better. So Monkey Law will have loads of grenades. He's going to have loads and loads of ammo. And effectively, all of these players are going to end up fighting the bugs. You know, we could end up with minus thousands here on the North. So, and as I say that, we're finally almost at 20 on 20. 19 on 19, but a few more and we're good to go. So yeah, as we can see here as well, some defenses are being put down. So we've got some blueprints of flamer turrets as well as a wall, which you absolutely do need. You know, no game of this exists where you don't put walls on the side of your base. You need to have defenses. And as I bring up my famed NASA, I believe NASA uses this tool. It's called MS Paint, and it's very strong. The bugs will flood through the map in these kind of attack patterns. So by kind of defining your defensive line, your walls, so to speak, here, you're using the lake and its divisional kind of nature of the map in order to keep yourself safe. And it also means you have to use less walls, right? Because ultimately in these red areas where you'd normally need more walls, you don't have to build any, for now anyway. So yeah, negative threat, no attacks. So, you know, having rivers is good and having the water structures are good, but you need to keep defense in mind at all times. You have to. The game is never a draw. There are no draws in this game. And over time, one of these teams will fold through incredibly hard to kill bugs, as well as enormous amounts of them as well. Again, it all comes back down to this threat farming, is that if the South were to spam a load of science, the North could absorb that with their negative threat. And absorption is the key here. If you get this into the hundreds of thousands, you can even absorb white science. 1,000 of this that goes against a negative threat number of 10k, 20k, 30k, you actually still end up relatively negative. You might have to deal with some bugs, but certainly not the millions that you normally would. So I'm a huge fan of threat farming. I was going to do like a threat farming video. I realized that every time I stream, I'm kind of explaining little bits and pieces about what I do. And what I thought I might do is get into a game, play, threat farm, and then just do like a bit of a breakdown that's quite short and sharp. Like a 5-minute, this is what I did in the first 30 seconds. This is what I did in the first 5 minutes. How to be a sarcastic jerk. Oh no, what's going on? No, we can't be having that. You can't be falling out with people. That's no bueno. You know, you fight the bugs. Fight the bugs. Don't fight each other. Now, like any game, you're going to have disagreements in the way that things go, but there is a captain. They're leading the way. Why is it going? And again, shouting at people is not a great way to go about doing stuff. So yeah, we can see different. The north is currently on fire, flaming each other. I don't know why they need 10 green signs. Hey Peru, how's it going? Hope you're having a good weekend. We're seeing two very different leadership styles right now. Dradrin is standing around shouting at his team, according to chat, being a sarcastic jerk and telling people what to do. Meanwhile, Carl is, he's not the captain of South, it's the soldier, but, you know, kind of the more serious and seasoned pros are just cracking on, getting it done. So we need 10 green signs, apparently. Multiple people need 10 green signs. I don't know, we might be witnessing the collapse of the North. The mental collapse of the North, not the physical collapse yet. I mean, they have production up, and again, this can turn into a really large block of production, so the potential is here, but again, they don't have their signs down. You know, if we were to reflect on the South, for instance, we have signs coming in, and it's looking good, so I would say less aggression to the team. Are they threat? They should be. Yes, they are. Excellent. So we have now South and North going for that threat farming. And I think what Claw did was he set up his automation first. So Monkey Lol just ran out here with, you know, like some fish, some magazines, and started early. There we go. We're starting to see that number start to be driven into the ground. And, you know, this looks pointless because you're not building or researching. This is really, really important in this game mode. You might think if you play vanilla Factorio, this is pointless. There's no need for this. We'll just build, you know, sentry turrets, for instance, right? These guys look like they're useful. They're not. These are the Kylie Jenner of bite battles, right? They look good. They don't do anything. So, and also they get overwhelmed. They only have 400 HP. So later on, when the bugs are swarming, even 10 of those sentry turrets are not enough. They don't do enough damage. They're not really worth researching into either. What you really want to do is get your projectile damage up, your explosion damage up as well, so that you can pop really large areas of these bugs, kill off the worms, try and survive with heavy armor. And the biggest pain when you do this are these little acid pools that form because they're kind of deceptive and they're everywhere. So if you bump into enough of them, that'll just naturally DPS you down. But Claw is a very seasoned player of this game. And what he's doing at the moment is he's grouping the bugs up and then using one grenade. And that's a really cheap way of killing 50 to 100 of these bugs at any given moment. So he's being really efficient with his resources here, shotgunning down the worms, grouping up the bugs into clusters, and then just throwing a grenade on top of them. And if I was to look north, we'd be seeing exactly the same thing because that is how the game is played. Here we go, thousands of bodies of bugs. Monkey Lol is now going for some of the structures as well, but he's grouping up the bugs. And he's just going to throw one grenade in, bang, and that's an extra minus 50 to 100 bugs. And this is where things get nutty, right? So, both teams have a window, unless somebody stops threat farming, has a window, and it's a shame that Claw died there, but he'll come back and be able to do this straight away. This isn't a problem, really. Where they have to build their base. It seems to me like the South are going lateral, so they're going east to west. They're not building deep or tall, which again is different to the way that South are playing. Let's just get this player in. As I'm getting my MS Paint tool out. Does this guy want to come in or what? I'm not going to sit here forever, mate. You've just clicked spectate. Excellent. Okay, so so yeah, it looks to me like the South are building laterally, east to west, and the North might do that, but there is potential for them to build height into their base as well, so to build deep. Whereas the South have kind of, because they've got this defensive wall here, potentially, and I just say this potentially, until they get roboports, the base will be this deep, and it's about how wide they want to make it. But again, you've got lots of oil kicking around. Oh, we've got some more people coming in. Excellent. Right, we will end up at 20 on 20. How are the North down to 16 players? That's not good. We were even a few minutes ago. Threat farm with a vengeance. Alright, Tarkan, you're going north. Balance the books a little bit. I don't want to throw loads of people onto north, but, you know, we want to have a relatively equal team set up. So let's hide the video preview real quick. So yeah, and obviously because Claws died, that threat farm is now climbing because the bugs are spawning back again, right? They're repopulating the area. When this gets to positive, they will start running towards bases. The best time to practice main building. I mean, yeah. So let's check in on our outposts, because we have a few, right? We have Cognitive Fun out here. We've got oh, I like this. I'm a big fan, although we're slightly unhealthy on green chips. We've got an initial spam and an initial rush. Meanwhile, Room Boggler and Lower Dark. I don't think we even get close to yellow, boys and girls. I'm going to just put my cards on the table right now. I genuinely think this game ends with like green to military spam. We may get to purple, but Jesus, the North aren't really building that fast. They still haven't got their labs down. We're now talking, they are now, you know, tens of minutes behind. The game is only 47 minutes gone, and I want to say that the South have had this up for about 20 minutes now, as we see the third tier of science going into the labs. And if we look at the difference in research, here we're going for engines, fluid handle, very standard stuff for the North. We check in on the South. Before it lets me, we now have access to deeper technologies with that military science. Rocketry, for instance. Not that you'd want to go there, but, you know, it's there for the taking. So I'm just not a huge fan. Like, they have really not gotten off the ground, and the first two labs have gone down now for the North. Permanent labs, not these kind of, you know, impermanent structures like this. Like, I don't know. I don't know what the point of all of this is, other than to get initial kind of science up and running. But yeah, it's anemic is probably the way I'd want to put this. Oh, hey Tukin, hope you're having a good weekend, mate. We're seeing Dradrin imploding as their North captain. The term insufferable jerk has been thrown out there. Not my words, obviously. As we see, Cognitive Fun has just thrown 180, and I finally can talk to you guys about why we play this game mode. When you throw science, and that's a lot of green science for this early part of the game, you influence the amount of bugs on the map, as well as the evolution. So now the evolution has gone from 7 to 12, making the bugs harder to kill. That's not impossible now. Like, you can still shoot them, but ultimately, like, when that evolution number goes to like 20, 25, 30, we're looking at like, it's almost kind of impossible to kill them with the most basic weapons, and you need to start upgrading your stuff. So these threat farmers now have a harder time of it. Meanwhile, on South, they're still dealing with 7% bugs. And as we can see, Claw, they're stuck down some concrete, and I like this. I used to do this, but I just can't be bothered most of the time. On concrete, you run faster, effectively. So he's created a little area here, a little kind of kill zone that he wants to work within. He'll kite the bugs around, he'll heal himself up with fish, and then he'll throw a grenade down, killing off the bugs. I like this. The North will still threat farm, obviously. And meanwhile, their outposts will still push forward. Yeah, the spitting is horrendous. One of the things I look at when I come in threat farm, and we've got a bit of time to talk about this, so I will. When I threat farm, the most important part is having a loop to run. So as you'll see here, Claw's running in kind of like a circular loop. and then his grenading in these areas. I mean, this isn't specifically his plan, but he'll be grenading in this area. So collect them in the yellow circle, grenade them in the red box. That's a really good question. There's normally not a natural point. It depends on what you have on you. So I really like, and it's a deviation from the research, but I really like defenders. If you have defenders, you can defend up to about 70% evolution. What you'll need though is power armor. You absolutely need something stronger than heavy and modular. So you need power armor. You'll need defenders and some upgrades. You absolutely need at least your tier 3 upgrades. So as I go into the research queue really quickly, things like projectile damage, obviously you'll need defenders, but this is a deviation from research. So this means that you're coming off the beaten path and not taking towards rockets or, endgame stuff. So your team takes a hit, but weapon shooting speed, physical projectile, as well as stronger explosives. But yeah, there is a point where you just can't. And the thing is, they get so fast. So at the moment, the shells of the bugs are brown, and that denotes that they are small. Later, they're going to get to mediums, to big, to behemoth. And if we get to the really late game, we're going to see bosses. And what bosses are is they have their own health bar, and they are so hard to kill. And we also see later on the chance for a bug to revive. They do come back from the dead. So it's not easy, man. Like it gets rough. And that's why having players like this is really important. Monkey Lol is doing, as well as the people that are helping him do it. This small defensive outpost, they're really helping him. And we can see there's a reason why they're doing this out here too. I love this. This will help the North so much. These little kind of mini bases. Because they're not just building grenades and building stuff to kill the bugs with, they're also building some kind of spam as well. And military science, as we can see, is the third strongest. So instead of sending green or red, which are really easy and kind of available at the beginning of the game, one of these teams is deciding to go for tier 3 for spam, which will pump the number up for the South really heavily. So we're in a bit of a conundrum now. They need to get a wall down, right? We need to see some flamer turrets. We need some static set and forget defenses. At the moment, if they were hit with a few hundred military science on the South, the Claw would be dealing with 25-30% bugs. And we're in a very different situation for him. He would not be as comfortable as he is right now. He's kind of on easy mode at the moment. And that would crank the difficulty up to about hard. Maybe even very hard, actually. So yeah. But there are two of them doing it, though. So their number might, really quickly drop into the thousands, negating the throw. So the bugs will become strong, but the threat will still be negative, making it harder for them to stay here. But yeah, Jesus. These guys don't have a lot of time, the South. If I'm being honest, neither team really could absorb a large send. But the speed at which these guys have gotten their bases off the ground, these guys are miles behind. I'm not saying that to hate, I'm just pointing out the obvious. Meanwhile, we see now flamer turrets are already being created on the South. So they're ready to transition at almost the 1 hour mark, the 53-minute mark. We're looking at the South being able to transition into a static defensive line with solid defenses behind them. And there we go, there's the throw. 139 mil side pushes us out to 19%. And all of a sudden, not right now, but soon we're going to start to see some stronger bugs being spawned and more of them. So they're still on a negative threat, but they're going to spawn a lot more aggressively and they're harder to kill. And Claw, does he have grenades? He does have grenades, okay. So yeah, it's starting to get tasty now, and that's a real big jump. For one send, the South have sent green only, but that one singular send by NASA has jumped the number up by 10 points. Alarm bells would be ringing if I'm on the defensive side, and I would start asking for people to bring walls. Bring walls, bring pipes, bring flamers. I trust these guys to keep threat farming, and they will, but when they get overwhelmed, you can't have nothing. Yeah, medium biters are already on the cards. Oh no, we're like 1% away, aren't we, from mediums, right? So yeah, they're still absorb. I mean, they have heavy armor, so they're still able to absorb. And I'm talking like dramatically. Yes, it's a problem. It's not a huge problem for now. If you don't get those researches, if you don't get those upgrades, you are doomed, and your team are dooming you to not play this playstyle. And sometimes it's done intentionally. You get to threat farm until they get too big, and then you have to move on to something else. That's certainly my initial kind of playstyle. Is I transition from building up main, so building these blueprints. I then run away, far away, and I build up, if I can, defenses. If not, I threat farm. By the time we get to about 20 to 25%, we should be seeing, if there were mediums on the pitch, we would be seeing them by now. Bots. Soon we will see bots. Another 150. Okay, right, we're at 24% now. And mediums are on the cards. Okay, yeah, this is now going to be difficult. 24%. And here we go, a medium biter pops up. Pinkish shell, obviously larger, much tankier as well, and moves quicker too. Something you have to remember is the bigger they get, the faster they come in. As you can see, one grenade will not kill this thing off. Multiple grenades will. And it's very lucky, and I really do mean this, that these guys are starting to put down their defenses, because as you can see now, a small group of mediums are coming into the south. So again, you need to have some flamer turrets down with some oil coming into them, but yeah, this is going to get rough. And again, this spam is going to continue to happen. Over time, it'll become less effective, but to pump the number up to 24% before we hit the 1 hour mark, yeah, you boys need to really carefully build this defense up as fast as possible. I would sack all of this off for now and go and grab friends, go and grab teammates, grab walls, if they're being made, and I hope they are. These guys aren't the kind of players that forget that kind of thing. Here we go. We have no wall production? Come on, boys, what's going on? Where are my walls at? Here we go. Some walls. Hopefully somebody just grabs some. But yeah, it's, like I said before, as I zoom out, when the bugs are positive, they're going to be coming from all directions, and that includes areas where you don't have defenses. So you've got to be ready for this, right? You can't be naive to the fact that this is going to happen. And people in main, they might not have as many grenades as your threat farmers. Here we go. They kind of are coming now for the power block. Dampy's on his own here, and again, bullets will kill them off, but they're only going to get stronger. They're only going to get harder to kill. And it's only a matter of time before they start slamming into things that you do not want to lose. So for instance, this power block over here. Do we have problems with power? We don't. So the South have taken the lead, but defensively speaking, I'm slightly worried about them. The blueprint going down is one thing. Another 154 comes across. 28%. I think we've underestimated the value of early sending in a normal game, guys. I don't see too much spam. But 28% at a sub 1 hour mark, or on the hour mark, is kind of horrible. And again, the waves are bigger now, as you can see. So yeah, the time to get those flamer turrets down and plugged in is right now. It's yesterday. It's 5 minutes ago. Get those towers down now. You've got them. These are plugged in now. There's oil in them. You have to stick them down. You've got them, right? Yeah. They're being made. 1, 0, 0? Oh, they've just been upgraded. Okay. So yeah, although the South are more organized, these early sends are really, really helping them out. So yeah, a bit of drama. In this. I kind of had the South for all day long. Whoever voted on the North, if you win, you're getting a lot of points. Alright, I'm not going to wait forever for this guy. And again, we can see now a rudimentary wall going down on the South. Do we have an answer to this? Do we have an answer to this at all? 40 players, by the way. I've got to say, guys, for a Saturday afternoon, 40 players playing the same game. Obviously, 20 on 20. That's kind of cool, right? I mean, I'm a big fan. Maybe I'm just a bit of a nerd, but yeah. You love a bit of organized gaming. And Claw continues, 28%. The separate bases, they would normally have a different function. 31% now we can see as that send of 127 comes across. And we can see now waves of bugs coming where there are no walls. So sometimes other bases will provide other things. So for instance, this base could potentially be making lasers. So they're kind of up here working on something else, or even nuclear power. Some bases, they will just make power blocks, so they'll make huge power plants, and then they'll plug into the main base, because main base is always massive. Or, as we can see here on the north, we have a base that's making use of these mix patches, this huge mix patch. And they're making grenades, but they're also making science that they can throw. So where you'd normally be researching with this, instead, they're just making science, and it's working. They're pumping the bugs up to 31%, whereas Monkey Lol's dealing with 14% bugs. We may see some deaths come in now. As we can see, bugs slamming into infrastructure. This is all stuff that you don't want to lose, right? You do not want to have to put this back down again. It's here now, so let's keep it here. And, we'll start to see bugs slamming into the walls. Now, again, flame turrets are a fantastic answer to this. And I'll just quickly with my MS Paint skills, hopefully I don't miss anything here, but... So obviously the bugs are going to come down and attack these walls. And we have like a buffer, like a barrier in these brick walls. And hopefully later on these walls will become thicker. So I'll just draw them as they are now. So they always want to go for the most expensive stuff. They want to kind of come through if they want. If they can, the idea is the bugs get through this, and then they're on top of your towers and they're killing you. But the flame towers have this kind of like kill zone in front of them. That's terrible. But imagine kind of multiple flamers flaming this area. The wall acts as a kind of a buffer, a trampoline as you like. So the bugs crash into the wall, and then they sit within this DPS zone of fire and napalm. And that's how you kind of reflect and kind of push the bugs back. They will chip into the wall, as you can see, and they will kill bits of wall off. But you hope that you get to a point in the game where you have robots to replace the walls, meaning that a human being doesn't have to. And again, we can now see the walls being defined and stuck down, and this needs to happen now. The south are not in a great spot. This base will survive, for sure, but they will get hit by runs, and it's going to be difficult to threat farm now. A big throw from Cog, though, so they're throwing some big punches early on here. They're not just waiting around. That now pushes up the North's Evo to 21%, and again, I don't think this game goes on more than 2 hours. There's no way. Because of the aggressive pushing, there will come a point where this becomes not as efficient, and the green send especially, even if you were to send thousands, becomes less efficient as we see the base get absolutely ravaged. Does Everlord have anything for this? Some grenades? The best thing you can do is stay alive in this situation. You can rebuild all of this stuff, but if you go down, you have to run back out here again, so... Okay, well defended, I guess. And they're just going for green. Okay, right, these guys are just all in for green. Rune Boggler has a plan here. This is kind of the future of North's idea. Meanwhile, labs are running dry. It's a little bit ambitious to have this many rows and this many like layers. You're not producing that much, so it's kind of a waste of power, I guess. I know, it's why I wondered why they picked this map. The patches are kind of nice, but there's just really big things in the way, and there's nothing close. Like the closest patch that you could use, iron's here, copper's here, and where's coal? You know, where's the nearest large coal patch? You're really hamstrung by that. So I don't know, like maybe start making solid fuel early on, but that's gonna. I hate it. This potentially you could make use of. In fact, you almost have to really. There's no large coal patch outside of the 230k, and you might be looking at this going, "Wow, these bases are kind of big," but they're not. The size and scale of this game mode becomes nutty. So give it an hour, 2 hours on a POC or ITYTD game, which is what we're playing next, and these bases will be huge, absolutely massive. And you love to see it, you love to see it. So yeah, we're going all in with the spam. They're not really well funded though, I'm going to be honest. Some of these aren't producing, but I guess they're just making do with what they have. They don't need to be super duper efficient. Finally, walls go down, and flamers too, right. This is really big for the south. They're not covered in all areas, but they have some coverage in this. They'll need to get their sidewall down as soon as possible. 230, geez. Okay, so it's starting to become less efficient now, Smiling Nass ascending. The main blueprint gets changed all the time. Yeah, I mean, in an ideal world, you'd want large patches so you could fund all of this, fuel all of it, but when you're lacking resources... But I'm still interested. The thing that I'm scratching my head over is the South have managed to kind of dodge a bullet here in the North's aggression towards them. So they finally managed to get some kind of focal point, which the Bugs, and again, they will go round your defenses. We talked about this earlier on, but they're not obliged to fight you here. You know, they fight you where they want to fight you, and unfortunately, if these Bugs do manage to make it down and through, they'll be slamming into your oil processing, of which you have no defenses to cover it. So we'll follow this pack as it kind of comes down, but this is where you need to make sure that you are sealed off. You need to be watertight, airtight, and hopefully somebody spots this. I'm not trying to point this out so somebody on South sees this, but you know, this is just an obvious kind of example as to having some defenses in some areas and just an egregious blueprint that hasn't been filled out just yet in others. If you lose this now, I'm telling you, if Whittle or Super, whatever, I'm not going to say that word, but if Super and Whittle don't have grenades on them, you are losing a lot of expensive buildings. So have they even spotted this? Dampy has. Dampy have grenades? Yes, he does. Does he have health? Health regen? He does. All right, Dampy did quite well there. He caught that. But yeah, if they'd have lost even a few of these chemical plants, even one of these refineries, that's a massive reinvestment that you have to kind of put your resources back into. So yeah, those walls and those flamers, super important. And NASA continuing on with plugging away. Let's take a quick look at how much has been sent so far. So the North have sent 999. Yeah, I agree, mate. Very good map awareness there. Yeah, so 999 mil from the North to the South. 768 from the South to the North. 38 to the South, 26 to the North. Yeah, our North, the problem is, right, if the North, and they're about to start dealing with positive threat, they have the right level of defense to deal with aggression. You know, one more tick, yeah, here we go. The North now, it's not a lot, but as you'll see, this number will climb into the hundreds very quickly, and that means that packs of bugs are forming in these dark areas, and you can be raided from this direction. So as I said earlier on, and you guys are probably bored of me saying this, but I love drawing on the map, so I'm just going to do it anyway. They're not obliged to come down in these areas. They're not obliged to bump into your defense. They can, if they want to, come like this, right? So I'm looking at North now going, you guys are vulnerable, and you know, what do you have in your locker to keep the bugs away and keep the bugs at bay? Again, 26%, not... so game number 2, great question, and I should be mentioning this more often. We have 2 special teams who are pre-made. They're all speedrunners, and they're all very well known in the speedrunning community. Both of those teams... Oh, Claw's had such a difficult time of this. He's going to go down, is he? Oh, he's so lucky there. So, game number 2 is a special game where 2 teams of professional speedrunners are going to play in North and South. They're then going to pick from our player base. So they're going to pick 21 on South, 20 on North, and then we play the game. So, oh, Claw's in such a rough spot here. I feel bad. And now undefended, this base can be attacked. There's nobody really here to stop them from just destroying all this. And Dradrian's saying you can stop farming soon? But they don't have defenses. Right, we'll keep an eye on North. Yeah, it's MCP versus TSG, but they're picking from our players, so they'll have people like Deba, LPO, Whittle will be able to play. Anybody in the game currently will be able to play game 2, is effectively what I'm saying. Including you if you want to. But we'll be streaming it, and it will be a slower game mode, so it won't be normal. The game mode will be on Piece of Cake, which is slower, which means we'll see rockets for sure. And effectively, it's 2 very quick stacks of players wanting to play. Sometimes we've had tournaments. So the most notable thing we've done recently is we had money tournaments. Somebody won 500 euros playing 1v1s, and the other tournament was €350 for the winner. So we host money tournaments, we host 1v1s, we have special games, we have normal games. Pretty much whatever you guys want to happen, we try and make it happen. As you can see here, because I'm kind of a big deal, all of these red A's are admins, including me down here. So if you guys go into Discord and you say, hey, we want to do this event, we want to play space exploration, or we want to play Captain's Bites, but we want to play more of these, we make it happen, 100%. As we can see, defenders, okay, big fan of that. I mean, they're in a rough spot at the normal. Yeah, normally it's one. If the game is really quick, I'll make another one. So say, for instance, if this game ends now at the 1 hour and 10 mark, I'll do another. Because it's we never really got to play a full game. But if the second one is a quick end, then GG's, we just had a bad weekend. We've done Rampant, we've done K2, we've done Bobs. We actually had a Bobs run recently, which was really good fun. All the different defensive turrets and all the different bugs. We've done Industrial Revolution. I believe we've done C Block. I think we did that at the very beginning. And we've definitely done SpaceX. So literally, if you just like Factorio, and maybe competitive is a bit too much, we play everything, mate. This is just if you think about this, 21, all the people here watching, another probably 15 people, as well as all of you guys watching and me here too, as well as thousands more actually. We just like the game, and this game mode is fun to us, but we play loads of different stuff. So yeah, just ask Neuro. Neuro's kind of the main man. He's in here somewhere. There he is. Neuro's over here. This is the senior admin. He's French. Don't annoy him. If you DM him, he will ban you. But if you have a good idea for a mod, we're currently playtesting another one, as well as, and I don't want to ruin the surprise, but one of our community is making a handmade. Yeah, be nice to Neuro, man. He does so much, and it's all volunteer work. It's not like he gets paid to do this. He maintains the server and does all the coding and all the programming, nerd stuff. But big up Neuro. He's top boy. Yeah. But yeah, he doesn't like to be DM'd because he's normally very busy. Smiling NASA, continuing on. 44% on the south now. So yeah, we're looking at some really rough times for this base over here. And you need these defenders to come out much quicker so that you can just, look at the size of these bugs now. The packs are large. 20 to 40 bugs now. And they're not even going for the walls. They're going straight for the base. Oh, that's horrible. Now again, grenades are still effective. And I believe they will have upgraded the grenades. But the two little pods down here. Oh, medium bugs on north now. And the threat's positive, right? I think threat farming is the thing that will define this game, ultimately. Yeah. And finally a wall comes down here. The sides of the bases are being worked on, which is great. And the final bastion of vulnerability here on the south is here. Who needs trusted? Okay, cool. Awesome. 4-deckers on it. And again, yeah, like the admins, genuinely, if you've got a good idea, ask the admins. Like we listen to feedback. We try and balance things out, and we try and make events happen, like the Captain's Game. This started out as me wanting to we have lots of players from Korea and Japan, Australia. We have West Coast guys that are in bed or maybe even just waking up at this point. So we host these games so that people can watch them back. I'm not here to be a streamer or to be oh, look at me on Twitch TV. None of that. It's just good fun. And over time, the games have gotten better. We've gotten, different blueprints and different ideas. And we've built what I think has been a really cool little place to be on the weekend for a few hours, And I welcome anybody that joins us, Thank you. It's been really good fun. I've been streaming for almost a year now. And it's been really, really good fun. We've had some ups, we've had some downs, we've had some problems every now and again, technical issues. But generally speaking, it's been great. And I've met so many other people from the community, people like Kobe, Simulta, speedrunners. We've had Antelites has been involved in some of the events we've got. We've had, some big names, genuine big names in the community. So, yeah. A big send there from Cog. The numbers are going up. 34 now for the north, the south at 46. we're going to start to need to see proper defenses on the north. They've got like the idea, a single wall with some flamers, but again, like these bugs will tear through this wall eventually. All it takes is a couple of waves to just, knock it down a couple of HP each time. And again, it's the areas which aren't defended is what worries me the most. Does this guy have a grenade? Tell me you've got a grenade, dude. Oh, there we go, nice. You got another one? Bullets will do. Got more bullets? Another grenade? Don't die out here, mate. Don't die out here. If you die out here, you're losing this base. There we go. Good defense. I'm not sure what the purpose of this is, but yeah, it would be a real pain in the ass to lose that. Especially this is solo base too. Transition. Okay. Spam City. A clown post has appeared. And both teams are throwing punches, It's not like one team is sending there, the other one's just absorbing. I tell you what I can do whilst we're here. Give me a second. I'll show you where... So I post these games up onto YouTube so you can watch them back. I'm also re-uploading old content. So I will... Here we go. Sorry, I'm just finding the new channel. If you head over here, if you want to, feel free to subscribe. You don't have to. I never ask for this stuff because I don't really mind. I post all of the videos of the games that we play, including the special events, like the Christmas event that we had, will all go up onto that YouTube channel, as well as this game too. So it takes me a few days because I'm not like, my computer's not that good. It's not that quick. But future games will be up. Yeah, I think rushing it's an unplayed strategy that we should see more of, really. Let's be honest. Like rushing into... Exactly. But what you can do, instead of outpacing the pros, is push the Evo. Make the bugs harder to kill. If you know that this outpost over here is going to be making a rocket against this outpost making... Oh dear. This is unfortunate. Now, hopefully they've heard the alarm, because if they lose too much here, this is quite... Neuro's been caught out. He's going for blue. That's a great play. But they're tearing power up at the moment in this outpost. Does he have grenades? Does he have anything? No, he's making grenades. Oh no, this is devastating. Alright, a shotgun. So much power has been taken out here. These buildings not that important. This power very important, and you're losing it due to the lack of grenades. There we go. And again, if you go down here, that's an hour and 18 minutes worth of work. That is just going to get swallowed up. This is really unfortunate for Neuro. But both of them stay alive. And if you weave in between the buildings, you can kind of unpath them and get them onto new buildings. And again, you'd rather Pipes die than yourself at this point. But yeah, does he have any healing? Oh, he's going to go down, isn't he? Moustique. It's very smart defending to weave in and out of these pipes. Does he make it? Oh, mate. Like 1 health. Serious, 1 HP. Kind of. Neuro, though, pushing these way back. And again, the threat has gone positive, and look what's happened to this outpost. This pink area here denotes everything that's been destroyed. But look at what they've done. They've chewed a hole into the side of the space. It'll still run, but it's wounded. And again, you had all of this down, ready to go, and now it needs to be rebuilt. So you as an outpost are now back, or set back by a few minutes. That is a proper big punch. And again, we see here with these single sized walls, it's not going to take long for the bugs to come in. All it takes is like multiple attacks from multiple areas, and you're in deep trouble, man. And again, if they come through this gap, it doesn't take much. We spoke about this at the beginning of the game, but it's great having a huge castle wall that you think they're going to come into. But it's these areas, right? These areas. Gotta be careful. And you can't be tone deaf. It will happen. So the sooner you get on top of that, the sooner that you manage that threat, that risk, this kind of safer you can sleep and play the rest of the game. You know, the one thing I do say is that you're not entitled to the end game. You're not entitled to get past red and green. You know, if somebody sees an opening and they think that throwing this amount is going to, you know, kill you off, they'll do it. The people that play this game are ruthless. And if they can take you out in one big send, they will. They don't want to play this for 4 hours if they can end the game in one and then play another one. So that's why you got to be on your toes. You know, you got to be ready for anything. And, you know, defense is part of the game. You know, defending yourself is part of the game. You don't just get this big sandbox where you get to kind of do what you want and build everything that you like and not be attacked. Now, it's probably really nice being inside this base. You know, Jason Gross and Carl, they haven't thrown a single aggressive punch. They haven't shot anything. They haven't thrown grenades. Meanwhile, Dr. Claw, the absolute warlord, and Dampy have been fighting for their lives, you know, killing stuff on the front line. And it all synergizes really well because if Dampy does a really good job here and Dr. Claw and all the defenders do a really good job, then these builder nerds get to do what they need faster. So yeah, it all synergizes really well if you can get the balance correct. And that the best teams, and we'll see a game, the next game should be a really solid effort. The best teams synergize really well between offensive and defensive power. As we see now, this base is being raided by much stronger bugs, and yeah, there's not a side swipe. Here we go. We were just talking about this, coming in from a lateral position and just flowing into your production. Now, being a defensive base, they should have enough to defend, but do they have fish? Yes. You can kind of lose a few buildings, you know? You can kind of afford to lose a few as long as you stay alive. The most important part of this is to stay alive, for sure. I talk a lot, don't I? I probably should leave, like, dramatic pauses and stuff. I probably need to be a bit more, you know, let the music play a bit. Never mind. Yeah, we have some flamers down in some areas. I'm still super duper worried about the edges of the base. We do see North with some old production. And the South have really got their shit together in that respect. They're miles ahead in terms of this part of the game. Nura's outpost has been rebuilt, as we can see here. And we do see them aiming for blue. And blue is a huge punch. That's an uppercut to the South, if they can get it off. Meanwhile, Cognitive is just, yeah. It's a bit of this, and it's a little bit of this, and then it's deal with it. And what we're missing here is bricks, right? Because of an attack. Oh no, get that working, mate. What are we doing, boys? Get this working. You could literally be spamming a ton of millsite at them if you have bricks coming in. So a slight mistake there. Oh, look at that, we even have a non-English Discord channel. That's nice. No. For all of our, you know, other European brothers jumping in. Power's low. Ooh, power's really low. What's going on here? Is it water? Oh, because you're plugged into another base. This is kind of a big no-no, right? If you're going to make an outpost, at least make power, right? Because you can't be using all of this to fuel your own stuff. That said, you do need more power, but like coal's really crap. Stagnant, isn't it? Can they bounce this back? It's a good job they don't have laser turrets up yet, because with the lack of power. And finally, blue shells. We see some big guys coming in, big spitters, big biters. But yeah, naturally this is progressing really nicely. I'm worried for the South now. Power is a serious issue. Like, nothing will work for you if you're on yellow power, or at least it's not as well as you want it to. I can't believe I'm seeing what I am seeing. What I am seeing is potentially late game signs. It's cheap, isn't it? It's dirty tactic, right? And what is this really doing? Let's be honest. What is this making? What is the purpose of this, other than just to box up items? Need power. Absolutely need power. And the thing is, you have enough coal out here to do that, right? You could make this triple, quadruple, right? Okay. So I like what I see from the South in defense, though. And Dampy has got an idea of a larger, thicker wall. Although, is there a gap? And we can see now a mix of shelled bugs. So there's no more little brown ones. We've just got pink. Oh, we have some browns, some smalls, but the majority of the bugs that come through will be mediums and large. So yeah, 2 more players coming in. That will leave us at 20 to 21. Big numbers. Good game. Very good game, and a good warm up as well for the game to come. Yeah, if you're this guy, build more power, man. Like this is a joke compared to what you're taking. Like you're taking probably 4 times that with this, so at least pay for it, you know. Everlord goes down. Poison capsules are starting to be used. Yeah, you got to work this out. This is working for them really nicely. If they're pushing the evolution up for the north really nicely, they just need to fund it a bit better. Like some of these buildings aren't building, so you're getting not as much science as you potentially want. All right, we see lasers. Let's check in on the research real quick. Let's see what people are aiming for. Mil 3, okay. Poison capsules and combat shotgun. Red belts, a bit of a meme, but that's fine. LDS and yellow, okay. The north have got some ambition. The south are looking at... I would line these up a lot sooner than landfill, but I mean, if you have the spare science, you have the spare stuff for labs. Green is a problem? How's green a problem? Reals? No way. Why is green so backed up? Like, I know why, obviously, they're not producing enough yellow inserters, but like, surely, like, just hand feed it, mate. Oh, they are hand feeding. Still, though, an inherent issue that might need to be resolved. 500 green goes across, and at this point in time, green doesn't really have a huge impact. But still, though, 1 point increase. It's 1 point less than your opponent wants. Or 1 point more than your opponent wants, sorry. And yeah, these waves are getting bigger. They're getting nastier. You know, they're taking a lot longer to kill and a lot more investment. So multiple grenades, multiple bullets, and that's just one wave. There'll be loads more coming through. We can see now part of the Smiling Acid base gets flooded by a second wave. And it's just all hands to the pump at the moment. We're at that critical mass moment. I think, in my professional opinion, and I am a pro, but stay humble, obviously, this game doesn't go on past the 2-hour mark. No way. Not a chance. And I would be highly surprised if it does. Now, I do have a prediction as to who I think will end up winning this, but I won't give away too much now. And again, we see some kind of poison capsules being deployed. A hole in the wall is never a good idea. Please close that, boys. Don't let them come in for free. But as you can see now, these big bugs are they take a while to kill. They take a long while to kill, actually. Right, let's get the next player in. There we go. Finally goes down. So yeah, bullets no longer a... Eagle's probably here, let's be honest. It's copper, right? It's almost always got a copper issue. Or is it petrol based? Oh, big send from Smiling. I reckon it's a fluid issue, right? I haven't managed to scan around as much as you, Ling, but my prediction would be fluid based. Oh, you also need plates for this. I mean, if you want your red chips to be turned on, you're going to need you're going to need some iron for this. That's my prediction anyway. Tell me if I got it right. Don't tell me what it is, but tell me if I got it right or not. I think it's fluid and its inputs, surely. Ooh, that's a big send. 250 blue from Neuro, that's nice. A 2-point jump and a 1300 bug increase as well. Now we are seeing some great defensive wall patterns go down, and the south are well protected, but they're not fully protected. An assembler with no produced product, dear. It's got to be late game, right? Scanning into me. I trust you, mate. I trust you. And we'll find it later. The thing is, if I point it out now, somebody on the north might see it. Like, I do know that people do at times, you know, snipe a little bit. So this needs a function and a purpose, right? There's no point. This will die, by the way, if you don't protect it. And it's stealing a lot of power from main. They resolved that power issue, I guess, but they must be close to balancing or bouncing around. There we go. There we go. That's a great little play. Another 60. Very nice send. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's a good shout. Take a screenshot and then send it across. Or better yet, post it in Hall of Fame. We'll love a bit of Hall of Fame content. So is Dradrian on for his first ever win? I don't know. They're using light oil, which is obviously stronger. And they can't... yeah, they can't build too close to spawners. So yeah, the blue sending's begun. We're seeing the beginnings of purple-yellow. I didn't think we'd get here. But if we do, yellow is a death sentence for any team. You send 50 yellow and you're jumping that number up a lot. Yeah, light oil does more damage if you can afford to put it through your pipes. Later on, we need light oil for, well, if we were going there, I don't think we will this game, light oil will be used for rocket fuel. But if you have an abundance, definitely plug your flame turrets into it. It does a lot more damage. Crude oil also works too. But in this game, I don't think we're getting to that final stage where we need tons of light oil and we don't have any spare. But yeah, the game's in the balance at the moment. What do I like about the North? I tell you what, instead of me being salty and being negative, I'm going to be like, right, what do we like, what don't we like? Still got some people to come in, that's fine. I like the fact that North have their blue up. They're getting bots as well. They've made 3 so far. Okay, they're also... Again, yeah, you don't always have a lot of light oil either, which is a bit of a shame. So sometimes you run out. Like, crude is a lot more reliable, but you know what it's like. Sometimes you just need to vent. Like, you'll have too much petroleum or you'll have too much of something, and, you know, cracking it into vats is one good thing, but... 1,000 green. There are some big sends going on here, boys. Big sends going on. It's not changing the dial too much, but the key thing to keep in mind is that the threat jumping up is big. So an extra 1,000 bugs, let's say for instance up north, Jurati spam, like 1,000 extra bugs, they're still not protected on the side here. You know, let's be honest, they're still wide open. But I like the fact that they're staying in the fight. They're not down and out just yet. Yeah, you're correct. You're all right. Obviously, for anybody that doesn't know in chat, Ling is one of the best, most winning... Oh dear, I've seen everything now. Oh no. Oh, oh no. That is... Yeah, look, Ragnar's right onto it. It's like, what is this absolute filth? You're actually the third, mate. So the rankings go me, obviously, then the soldier, then you. But top 3 is good though, dude. And standing on a podium with me is an honor in and of itself. So, yeah, congrats. And for any of you that think I'm being serious, I'm not. It's called sarcasm. Trust me, I am good. I'm not that good though, Jesus. Although I've won a lot, but I tend to win from, yeah, being a bit defensively minded. Ooh, we see a breach from here. Some bugs made it through. Dangerous, very dangerous. Let's check in on some of these outposts. There's stuff going on. Are there any changes here? They're just sticking with it, I guess. Yeah, good lads. Okay, finally, here we go. So they're boxing up walls, which you love to see. Hopefully they can take them back to main. They're just piling in with green. I mean, I don't hate it. Neuro's base, though? I don't think we're far away from a finish here. But seriously, it's either this breaks the South, or this turns on, even for like 5 minutes. Oh, they're just going for... Ooh. So, what I'm looking at here, or the way I'm reading this, they don't want this on for long. They haven't built this to be turned on for 40, 50 minutes. I reckon they're looking for a 5 per building built effectively, and that's Ascend. At least if I was aiming to do this, I'd want it on as long as possible, right? But if you want to win the game right now, before laser towers turn into a thing and become part of the game, a cheeky 100 to a 200 purple Ascend to North, that's horrendous. And again, when we're talking about multipliers and jumping the numbers, we can see now that, you know, ascending 500 green is doing very little to nothing. It's jumping up by a point. Purple, being the 3rd strongest science, will jump up by multiple points, especially at the right time, the right pivotal moment. As we, oh dear, we might not even get there. I remember talking about side swipes about an hour ago. Do you guys remember that? I don't know why I talked about it, and I talk about it every week. This is huge. This is really bad. Losing a few of these is devastating. Is anybody coming into... It's heartbreaking because you're losing all the contents of the building as well. So 4 refineries go down. You can replace the pipes. You know, these buildings, you can replace all of this, right? But the fact that you're losing production time and you're having to commit people to this... I know, it's true though, right? Again, we see another game that doesn't go the distance because they'll fight this off. They can. They'll lose a lot of stuff. Add me to the team. I did, mate. I've run this command multiple times. I also don't want to miss what's going on here. Yeah, I'm not wasting time. It's genuinely like, this is rough. Now again, these poison capsules, this blue mist that's being thrown down, will melt the bugs, and they will be able to fight it off, but look at the damage. I can't understate how much this will hurt them with their throughput. Pipes not being connected, having lost decent, robot flying frames, right? And where did they come from? I mean, I can point the obvious out, which I will do, and not to poke fun, but just as a bit of an educational thing, right? Who's defended better in this area, north or south? At the bare minimum, if the south get attacked, they might make it in, but they have to fight the flamers, right? You have time. And the same with this area here. But let me fully zoom out, and let's just do a cross comparison. So, yeah, where's wide open right now for the north? Here, 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 and here. Right, wide open. Wide open. And that's like no defense. They just walk in and they do whatever they want to whatever they want. Meanwhile, we've got clear defense. They're blocked here, here, and here. So yeah, they can make it all the way in if they're on north. I'm just... And again, yeah, it just isn't producing because the pipes aren't connected. I just need to change the music real quick because that ran out. Let's go for something a bit better. Let's go for something high tempo. We're going the distance today. We're going to do 2 games. So there's going to be a point where I need to go and get some food. The Evo, South is 62. So they're actually dealing with a harder number. But obviously they have these kind of wall patterns that will kind of confuse the bugs and thicker walls. They've got better flamers down, more of them. And that'll be going all the way across the board. So that's just them sealing up the base. I'm slightly worried about, areas like this where they're a bit thin on the ground. But you hope that they have enough people that can react to this. And yeah, they have capsules and stuff that will help. All right, cool. Again, tell me if the music is too loud or too quiet. Each playlist I stick on, sometimes it changes a bit, so... Yeah, so if you play this a lot, you'll start to understand, and you get a good view for what people are going for. So you can kind of predict spams. certain spams. You know, you can predict like a green rush or a military rush. It's also dependent on the difficulty of the game as well. So, yeah. Well, steal just means everything late game, right? So I believe that the initial thrust was to push the number here with this outpost, followed by a main build. And again, like I say, once this turns itself on and is funded, like, this is going to be horrendous. And again, let me know if the music's loud or not loud. It really does help, because I watch these back sometimes and I'm like, wow, that was ridiculously quiet. But yeah, I guess once this turns itself on, this is going to be an absolutely brutal thing to deal with. NASA coming in, but these throws are now not that. I mean, a 2-point jump's decent, but it's not huge. It's not like game-ending, game-winning. And that's kind of, they're committed to this now, right? Still rebuilding. Research is super slow because oil has been hit. So you can see the knock-on impact there, like blue's not coming through. They have like 5 or 6 labs working at any given time. With all of these labs down, it's just not happening. What? Why would you look at that? Is this guy griefing? 1 second. No, he's not holding a lot of signs. I'd be worried if he was. But they've griefed themselves here. This isn't pushing. You don't really get to choose where they attack. You can choose when they attack, though, by sending at certain times. So if I was north and I had lots of signs, I would be sending right now, because they're not going to close this up anytime soon. Ooh, this is interesting. Hello, dog. You awake again? Yeah, buddy. What do you want? No, that's my slipper. All right, away you go, mate. Fair enough. Had a sniff. All right, dog. Catch you in a bit. Sorry. It kind of wakes up at random times. So yeah, we do see here now, potentially, a really dangerous setup. A repair pack in a bot, which is obviously illegal. No, you don't just get added to Team South. Was he asked to leave the team? Is he part of this list? If he's not part of this list, he's been kicked off. Hang on a minute, why is this guy complaining? Botu knock. Let me look at his stats real quick. Sorry, this guy's been complaining for a bit and I don't know why. Botu knock has no games with us. Oh, maybe he just didn't understand what was going on. When I press this button here, you have a chance, this will pop up. You need to click yes. Look, it says, do you want to play? And then you click yes or no, or please don't ask me again. I click no. Everybody else here has already been asked this, so I'll just end this here. But I think it would be fun if you could say, like, an area. So let's say, for instance, you sent science, and you get like a chance to say, look, in like this attack here somewhere. Do you know what I mean? So it can't be pinpoint. It can't be like this building, but like in this area, I want an attack. Although you just attack open spaces. Like if I was the north, I'd be like, attack here, attack here, attack here. Do you know what I mean? Everything come here. It potentially could work. Potentially. All right, big spitter. So all right, so now we're moving into territories which will be difficult to deal with, and we can see now bosses. So these guys with health bars, they're a lot harder to hurt and to kill. So it's a good thing they've got walls down. You'll need thick walls for this. So, yeah. And again, it says purple and yellow that's about to come into play here. So look, these bosses are slowly dying, and they're chipping through the wall. They're coming through, and they're managing to land some damage. So at this point in the game, most of the time, we need some lasers to be up and running as well, right? Because, yeah, you can see they're not going down really, really, really quickly. They're going on slow. Yeah, difficult. That's kind of rough. Again, these walls haven't been... I mean, the mass blueprinting is not good, because what you have is bots kind of, and again, opening up the base like this. Not a smart idea. This, I kid you not, is like the Death Star. Why would you have a huge fucking hole that you can shoot a missile into? Close this up, boys. Terrible. Don't allow stuff like this to happen. For what? For a coal belt? No. What's going on? Why are people saying... What's up? Why are people kicking off? Hey man, you can't be angry at Fordeko. Fordeka's a homie. Don't be doing that, man. I'm not having that. Fordeka's like the nicest person on the server. If you're telling him to shut the fuck up, then the issue is with you, my friend. Trust me. I've never seen Fordeko fall out with anyone. So if you're making somebody who's normally really calm, really angry, yeah. But we do resolve disputes. You know, we're not here to kind of cause issues. We're here to try and solve them. But yeah, it would surprise me greatly if Fordeka's causing issues. Right, is this on? No. Oh dear. It's turning on. But we're missing something very important, and we need green chips, don't we? Do we have buffered red? We do. Not a huge amount of buffered red though. Green chips are an issue because they're just stacking up here. Yeah, they are. Well, they need them. They need green chips, right? There we go. There it is. Okay, so they're flooding it. So we have a separate green line. They've made a little green factory here. That's good news. It's hugely lacking in iron plates. But whatever, man. It's on. It's running. I am scared, though, for the south because of this. Again, that's one tier above what we're looking at. Now, I don't think we get to a rocket at all. I did say I thought the game would end around about the 2-hour mark. Walls like this, really vulnerable. I mean, there's a gap here for a start, right? If you have walls, just run over here and build this, right? Stop this from happening. This genuinely annoys me. You've done all this really good work building all of this, and then on the side of your base, you have just an open door. You know, this is how you do it. You just put undergrounds in, right? So yeah, I'm worried. I'm worried for the south. I'm worried for the north. It depends on who can turn this stuff on first. And as we see, it's begun. And a final arms race has begun. The final push to the end. You know, do we see flamer? Do we see laser towers? Actually, that's a good point. Are we going to see any laser production? Has this turned into anything? This base has done nothing. And that's just it. Is these guys have been out here the whole time and they haven't really achieved any other than building them all. Not much. You know, maybe more power would be good if they like increased this main, but yeah, kind of a wasted effort. I'm going to be honest. Everlord and Plumpcat, as well as Cog out here, they're going to continue this on. Why is he shouting? Why are we caps locking? Caps lock was last week. So yeah, we're moving into the late game here. You know, we're not at the end of the game, but yeah, I think you're right though. Build an outpost with no plan, stopped at mall. I mean, if they wanted to build more power or maybe even get this stuff, like more oil, for instance, you know, over here and just keep pushing out for more oil, you always need more of that stuff. Meanwhile, this is starting to become healthy. You know, we could see potentially 1,000 of this in time. By the time we hit the 2-hour mark, we potentially could have a few hundred of this, maybe even 1,000. if it all turns on, again, big if, because red chip production is not happening. Hang on a minute, if you're backed up on green chips, why don't you just like chest this and then just hand feed this? Because it is green chips, right? Yeah. What are we doing, boys? Ah, well, it's not always perfect, but it is on and it's working. Now, again, there's an ideal number to send with, and I don't believe that. I mean, what, you send purple, they send yellow, and then you're just in an endgame that favors the better defended team, basically, because an outpost will die, right? So you might lose this outpost, and that's one of the benefits of building inside, sorry, right? At least the endgame production is within the walls, right? The bugs need to come through all of this, all of this, all of this, all of this to get to here. If the North get hit hard by 80, 90, 100% bugs, this outpost has very little to no defenses. I don't think I've seen any laser turrets or any laser production, so I'm slightly worried that you lose that advantage. So yeah, I don't know if we're going to have 1,000 send, a few hundred sent. A few hundred would be a mistake, I feel, for either side. You know, for purple, you need to send 1,000 at least, minimum. Yeah, I agree, dude. I agree. Oh, we're having massive pings. Okay, what are we pinging out? I can't see down there. Oh, they're getting smashed up. Damn, I wish I could reveal parts of the map as the referee. But their base is getting torn to pieces. And this is, again, literally as I was talking about this with you, Ling, just now in chat. Look at that. I said, you know, you build outside the base, you run the risk of this. And again, if yellow can't be produced because you haven't got the power because your base is getting destroyed, how long do you sit here until you send? You know, do they have 300, 400? Is that enough? If this base goes down, it's going to take a while to get that yellow back up again here with the resources that you need. So yeah, I'm worried, man. I'm worried. Power armor and then energy weapons going up for the North. That's good. And then for the South, coincidentally, energy. I feel like that's a bit of a, we've got nothing else to do, so let's just research that, if I'm being honest. And yeah, the defenses are coming in, although the bosses are equally so are coming in too. So, you know, they're getting a little bit of pain here. And somebody needs to, there we go, Dampy's right here. And LPO goes down. Oh, I'm slightly worried about the South though. They're dealing with like a harder kind of effort. And I feel like if the North were having to deal with what they are, they'd just crumble. So, yeah, the next big send is good. I think generally speaking, like, I would... If I was outposting, I'd want to make a defensive outpost, definitely. Laser outpost or, you know, the bare minimum, something that can provide walls, capsules, defenders, you know, stuff that when you get to the end game, you can be here as a player and you can help here. You know, throw down poison, throw down defenders, chip away at the bugs. Because, yeah, they're coming, man. And we're not far away. We're really not far away. Which is a good thing, for sure. Now, game 2 is going to be really good fun. Oh, yeah, or like a research base. I think research bases are underrated. We don't see them that often, though. It's weird. Like, the meta seems to be that... And again, shouting is not ideal leadership. That's normally a sign of things aren't going that well. You know, if you have to scream your point across to people, it's generally speaking not that great. Where are the mixers? Over here? Have they managed to get this up and running properly? Yeah, it's getting there. Although it's certainly underfunded. Like, some of these buildings aren't building. So yeah, whilst we're in this stage of the game, I'm going to go and make myself a cup of tea. Being very inherently English. So, be right back. I'm just going to go and make something to drink. Oh no, the outpost is going down. Holy shit. Alright, you need to sew this up, surely. There's no way. Was there a send? There was, Rimboggler. A 7-point jump. I'm worried, boys. I'm worried. Look at this. And again, look at this tiny gap. I'm so sad, boys. You've literally made a little Death Star here, and you've created a tiny little hole that they can just walk into. And somebody needs to come over here and help this, because they will get through. 100% they'll get through. And they'll be directly on top of your purple for sure. Oh wow, they got pushed back. Maybe they got good flamer research. Sorry. But the bosses are, the bosses are providing a bit of an issue. The South are getting hammered. Absolutely hammered. They're lucky that the bugs didn't find this area here. Very lucky. Meanwhile, the rest of the base seems decent. I would highly advocate, if you're doing stuff like this, to just go and build this stuff, right? Don't let the bots do it. You grab some walls, go and build this pattern out. Like, don't let one bot fly through here. Okay, they've got some mixers on. We didn't see a purple sender, right? We haven't seen purple being sent yet. So 279 from this outpost here. That took a while to build as well. I feel like they should be on the south, be able to produce more purple. I don't know. It's in the balance. It's in the balance. But I like adding in more flamers, right? If you have them spare, link them up, right? You need more DPS. And there's nothing more glorious than all of these firing off at the same time. Because you're just down. Ooh, okay, nice. Slightly upgraded laser tower. It's in the firing line, though. You're going to be within their spitting distance. You know, you maybe place this a little further back. But, you know what? I don't hate it. Viking. Very good defense. Very good, actually. You know, coming in with the clutch plays, you know, just nading down the bosses, getting a single turret down, the laser turret, to kind of aggro. I don't hate this. This is a really solid play. Here we go. So, laser production has begun for the north. They have a decent amount of them too. I wonder if they're properly upgraded yet, though. They're starting to get full coverage defensively speaking, which is definitely a must, like an absolute must. If you look, though, the profile of where they have to defend is larger. So if I get I haven't used these in like 5 minutes, so I'm going to use them now. So the area, terrible. The area that the north are defending. No, in fact, you know, it's even larger than that. Let me be precise here. So the north are in red, the south are in blue, and this is just the profile of the base, right? So this extra little box here, that they're not having to defend the south, that's all area that your bots have to fly in. I mean, it doesn't seem like much, but I would rather a more compact turtle type base, at least at this phase of the game, when you don't have like 5,000 bots, you've got like 1 or 2. Alright, we could be on for another big send here. Remember, when we get to 90%, behemoths will be into the game. Say we go 91, behemoth bugs now exist. And Boggler might have just managed to hit that perfect timing. So yeah, we're going to see some of the largest, in fact, the largest bugs coming in. And we'll see very soon, like, behemoths to be spawned. Neuro's base, how are we going? The blue buildings have all been pulled. And we're transitioning into a purple. Lower Dark doing quite well to kite the bug packs across the flamers. So he's doing his own bit to kind of, you know, actively defend, stop them from kind of crushing in and crushing his base. But there are some gaps. I don't know. Have we waited too long? I don't know how much, and I'm not going to check because it'll be giving game away. I don't know how much purple has actually been made. Some of these buildings have made none. And is NASA, Bogler, Friendly, and Lower Dark? I mean, that's a hell of a stack, by the way. Have they pulled off the yellow build? Because they're already up to 100 again. Over 100 already. And they just sent 5, or 4-5, so... Behemoth bosses, here we go. Prepare yourselves, boys. Prepare yourselves. The North are going to rattle the South. There needs to be some kind of counterpunch here. I'm worried now, boys. I think it's a 50-50. I think this is a coin flip. Absolute coin flip. I think now it's more about how they defend, right? And anybody that doesn't know, these green shell bugs are behemoths. And over time, there will be a chance for them to revive. And these guys are going to tear through walls. So we'll take a little watch. It's nice they've got all of these flamer turrets down, but you need to... Yeah, look at that second pack of bugs coming through. Dampi's in the right spot, though. The laser towers aren't properly upgraded. They're only up to plus 13, so not great on that side. But, yeah, at only 90% with all of the DPS from the poison capsules and all of these flamers, the bosses are going down, but we're only looking at this getting worse from the South's point of view. It's not going to get any easier, and if they don't have a lot of laser turrets, they can stick around this area. Like, relying on flame turrets, it's a really risky strategy. So yeah, we're going to have to wait and see on that front. And again, look, they're crashing into the side of the base, which is typically the weakest area, weakest part. Only a few flamers are here, and the ones which are more dense are facing away. They could be breached on this side, and they're so close to their silo here. Oh, it's that weak edge. It's that weak edge of the base that's just been kind of taken advantage of. They're through now. Once they're on top of the flames as well. And they're calling GGs in the South. I mean, you could still send this and defend. It's not over. Like, if you stop playing, it's over. But I don't think this is complete GG. You need to fight this. You don't want to just go down like curled up in a ball. Like, go for it. Try and go. Build some capsules. Go and fight it. Like, there's so many people here standing around. Go and do something, boys. Oh dear. Are they out of oil in all of them? Or is that just a pipe that's been knocked? Oh, these guys are running off crude. Okay. Why? You have so much light oil. Just plug into this. Oh, that's a huge mistake. Why? What are we doing, boys? Plug this into light oil. What we like? Everything else is light oil, right? This is, and it's almost full. That's horrendous, and it's right next to your purple as well. Just send the purple, mate. This is over. Again, Dampy's done a really good job here with Right Wing Extremists, and they're just nailing the bugs down again. Huge gaps in the wall, but they managed to survive. And in other areas, there are breaches too, but again, like there should be enough people here to come and do it. A solid defensive job, but so many of these just aren't plugged in, aren't working. And it feels to me like people have just stopped still. Genuine, like what's going on, boys? You know what to do now. Build capsules, get to the wall. Build a wall. Like, literally, build a wall. Grab some walls, build this. It's not game until you decide to stop playing. Then it's game, obviously. %, build a wall, and don't make Mexico pay for it. We need to survive 15 minutes only. I wonder where that 15-minute thing's come from. What are they saving their purple for as well? Like, I don't get it. I'm highly, highly confused. Great defensive setup here, though. Covering the ground in poison. And just forcing the bugs to kind of aggro onto... I don't get it, though. Genuinely, I am confused. They need to send to the north. The north need to feel some pain. At the moment, they are building mixes. Holding. Should we add a 6th? No, because that's stalling, isn't it? I was going to say it's holding a different, but stalling is kind of the same thing. There are 5 Horsemen of the Apocalypse when it comes to this. Stackers, Stealers, Gridders, Hackers, and Stallers. And stalling the game out. Yeah. He's an emotional tester. He's just testing everybody out. I'm not going to check how much has been made, but you could argue that there's couple of hundred, closing in on maybe a few thousand. Closing in on 1,000. So 900 to 1,200, I guess. We do have laser turrets been in the works as well. And the thing is, that yellow send is going to continue, right? So these guys are only going to keep boxing up more and more and more of the stuff, which means that you're going to go to 95% to 100%. I'm not going to inventory him. I will if he doesn't. Nah, because it's giving the game away, is it? It's classic. Outstanding building 30 mixes and none of them work. Yeah. Oh, we need to come up with a name for that because it's gluttony. It's great to see 50 of these things right next to each other, but they never work. You've got to feed them, right? You can't have them and not feed them. Meanwhile, though, we are seeing... Do you know what? I'm going to do it. Okay, yeah. It's enough to cause a problem, but it's not enough to be problematic to the north. So no, it is enough to be a problem. It's definitely enough to be a problem. Oh, dude, so much has happened. The south are dealing with behemoths at 91%. So these big green guys are behemoths. They're dealing with bosses as well, because we've gone over the 90% mark. So where I thought the south was strong, they're now defending for their lives. They're getting breached all the time. They're not going down. They're not dead, but they are close to... I mean, there are some areas that really need work, properly need work. And they did. They got absolutely beaten into a pulp. Now they're still alive, and it's looking okay, like they're stabilizing, but you don't want to be having stuff like this happen. They're still in the fight. Yeah, they got hit with a haymaker, but they're still there. Meanwhile, the north are still dealing with strong bugs, but they're not that strong. But here's where it changes, right, for me. The south have the opportunity, when they're ready, to send a huge amount and force north into this similar kind of position. And north haven't got their lasers down yet, and there are areas of their base which are definitely vulnerable, right? Definitely vulnerable. Thin walls, barely defended. So, in my mind, are we really saving? And if we are, what are we saving for? Like 5,000 purple? Because at the moment, it's not coming out that fast. So you have only really one chance to throw that punch. And I don't know, like, what do you guys think? Because obviously these guys are going to just keep building more and more yellow, right? It's weird how close it is. It's weird because it shouldn't be this close. All conventional logic says that the South win this game if they send. And there was a period in time, I look back over the course of the game, where we see, look, red, green, red, green, red, green. They're constantly backwards and forwards, sending. And then there comes a point where, other than the green and military sends, the only big ones are the yellow, jumping 8 points. So again, if they save another 400, another 500, we're going to see that the North are just going to take the lead. Easy death. The one thing you have to give credit to, though, is the Southern defense has been immense. Genuine, like a bit of a masterclass from Viking and Dampy. And everybody involved, obviously, but these two in particular have really smashed. I don't know, though. Patience is a good thing, but you can't be in a fight and play passive. There's no point in letting somebody wail on you and beat you up if you're not going to do any offensive stuff yourself. So maybe he's done the maths. Maybe he sat there going, okay, I need 1,800, I need 2,200, I need 5,000, and that's my number, that's what I need. If that is the case, I would turn these on properly, because item ingredient shortage is never a good look, and it's red chips, isn't it? Yeah, it's absolutely red chips that are in there. So I don't know. You only ever have so much anyway, to be honest. But yeah. Talking about browning out. I haven't really checked the power on North, but they haven't really had issues. They've got some really solid power blocks here. They're not even on. Oh, this is fake power. Oh no. Why? Oh, we've been graced. The presence of Mr. Trump has graced their presence. Oh, you gotta. I hate this, man. Fake power sucks. That will come back to bite them in the arse. So they're calling 1k yellow on North to South. That'll put them over 100% easily. You know, it's whether that's a winning move or not, you know. What'd you say for 2k, 3k, right? Because South have been quiet. They haven't sent much at all, even in the last couple of minutes. Like, properly big sends. The laser tower... Oh, what are they doing on research as well? Good. Okay, right. They're slowly but surely upgrading the damage these things do. Coincidentally, the North are looking towards uranium processing. They want to try and make a nuke. Great question. Really, really good question, actually. So, as a beginner, the best thing you can do for yourself is grab some fish so that you can heal yourself, and grab some of these things, poison capsules. When the bugs run into these areas here, you can throw them like a grenade, and it will DPS them down. And it's one of the best ways a new player can kill off some of these really large boss-type bugs. They're not dead yet, mate, but it is wildly close. It's been swinging backwards and forwards for a while now. I don't like North's setup, if I'm being honest. They're starting to make mixed builds. And the South are better defended. Use pipes as walls. So yeah, sorry, to answer your question, I would grab defensive items such as slow down capsules and poison capsules. The game is so over so soon. But at the same time too, I don't see it going the distance. Like, there's no way we see a rocket in this game. We're just waiting for either a large purple send or a horrendously large yellow send that just kill off the South. The send at the same time. That's definitely not a good idea. I'd throw the first. Here we go. There it is. There it is. To 90. There it is. Sorry, I said that 3 times in a row. Jinx. I'll stop talking. We've just been waiting for that for a while. Let's see what that's done. 19.8 point jump. Almost 20% jump with that purple send alone. 6 for the blue, and then the other stuff is inconsequential. This is why now, if you're spamming green and red, it's super not worth it. So, the North are about to be tested. Let's see if they pass the test. I don't think they do. You can join a team, but you have to click yes. Do you want to play? Yes or no? There we go, dude. Enjoy. There is a lot of defending to do. So yeah, try your best, mate. You're going to need armor for sure. Don't go in there with like light armor. You're going to need some grenades, or at the very, very least, you're going to need something that you can hold. Yeah, but now North have a problem to deal with. It's weird. Like there was a point where I thought the North just absolutely were dead in the water, and then they just threw all that yellow, and we're here now. And they've thrown again, by the way. So now Evo at 105. This must be the end of the game. I would be shocked. 1,300. So that's a 13-point jump, 14-point jump almost from. Yeah, I'll try and keep my eye on both of these bases getting hit. But I believe the North will have to deal with some pain first. And yeah, there's 40,000 of these bugs up online too. So again, here we go. That's Amelik throwing out these poison capsules we talked about earlier on. And they will DPS down the bugs over time. For the South, there's a 2% chance that everything that dies, it revives, which makes the game so much more fun. But yeah, they're not defending just yet, so we'll have a look at some of the breaches. And this is difficult to deal with now. I think that's a really good timing that they managed to hit. You want multiple layers. Great question. Multiple layers of defense. You don't just want one line. You need to have. So what a lot of people do is they'll build like base number 1 in air quotes, where the initial kind of production starts. So that's your kind of first smelters, your first science. And if I use because I don't think I'm gonna have much a chance to use it in the not too distant future, because the game's gonna be over. A lot like the initial base will look like this, like a box like this. And then all we do is when we get like robots, for instance, we don't take that wall down. We just build the second box here. You see what I mean? So you've got basically 2 defensive lines you can fall back to and also kind of drag the bugs into. So once they break through this, they also then have to get through this as well. A lot of people pull them up, but I don't see the point. Keep it down. It's literally just a wall and it's there to save you. So I might need to slow the game mode down a little bit. I think some people are struggling. Oh, crude oil is still running low. Yeah, that's going to be a struggle. Is South getting hit at all? Oh yeah, the South getting hit hard. This could be a photo finish. This could actually be a photo finish. So it's literally front on front. Stampy's going in with the nades. Poison capsule's going down as well. Yeah, their lasers are better upgraded. And laser towers are kind of how you win the end game. But again, look at this. Just another huge wave slamming into the base. I don't really know who's going to win this. Because let's say, for instance, like... No, actually, no, I do know who wins this. The South win this, surely. There's nothing defending past this point other than random lasers you can put down. You know, like grabbing 5 or 6 and throwing them. You know, you'd need to let them come through here. And there's so much that the bugs will aggro onto, you know, that even if they aggro onto your power or your miners, it's not a big deal. It's if they get past this line. And so now it's all about holding that line. Oh no. This outpost is done for anyway, though, to be honest. They've only really been making... Hello? Some purple? Nice, I guess. Yeah, they're both breached. They're both in a lot of trouble. And we're pulling walls up. Why? You guys see that, right? That's them pulling walls. Why are we opening up our base? I need to check on the logs for that. That's actual griefing right there. You can't be doing that. But it doesn't really matter. They're through, but that wall was up. So it's another thing they could aggro onto. Let's see. Yeah, who's closest to dying? Ooh, dangerous. South Main, West. Yeah, they've dealt with that though nicely. They do have lasers, they're just not... Yeah. Oh, pipe wall goes down. We all know pipe walls are the best walls, obviously. Yeah, you need to deal with this, boys. This is rough. Capsules, lasers, try and pick them off one by one. Try and break them up, bring more people down here. Like, they're going to come on. They're already on top of you. Look at this. I mean, traditionally, walls are the best walls that we have, but everybody knows pipe walls are special, mate. And there's so much here that you're going to lose. I mean, I think you reflect this wave, but genuine, like, you're losing a lot of lasers here that you don't have backups for. Another 500 goes across. Oh, 110 for south, 97 for north percent. There's enough lasers here to deal with this, but again, your base has been breached. Viking with another great run across to save, and they're breached. This could be it. Oh dear. It's purple versus yellow, and I think yellow's won. Genuine, this has been a good game, man. This has been a really good game. We should play normal more often. Because you actually have to send and fight, you know, you force the opposition to deal with pain. If these guys start running into the base, it's over. There's nothing here. And have they breached any more? Every single thing, every bone in my body said that it was going to be a south win. But do you know what it is? It's the difference between this outpost being useful and this outpost being nothing. You know, they had 2 to 3 players out there and they got nothing done in an hour and a half. Then they got run over and left. If that outpost was something else, something different, you'd be in a very different position for now. But yeah, that's game, dude. That's GG. I mean, meleeing them might be a good idea. Oh, somebody repairing it. Not gonna work. There's no chance. The one-time repair packs are actually useful. It's so game, dude. There's more coming as well, like... Yeah, yellow one. Dampy doing the lap of honor. And this is the best they can possibly do, is poison capsules and try and just heal up the silo. But it's game. You need people to get involved. For once, the repair pack actually has some use. If you have multiple people repairing it, this could actually... No, they don't do this, do they? There's so much coming in as well. There's so many other things that play here. It's a gallant effort, that is. But it's just too much. I can't believe what I'm seeing here. There's 3 of them healing this. There's no way. How is this not broken? Tell me this is not broken. I don't care what you say, boys. 10 out of 10 for defense. You're going to lose the game because like there's more coming in, but that is 10 out of 10 defending right there. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I've played a lot of this. Like, a lot. Well done. So much death. That's it. Overwhelming, unfortunately. That was a really good game. That was proper decent. I'm well happy about that. Oh, remember, we've got a second game happening as well. It's scheduled for directly after this. Oh, they were close, but not as close. So, yeah, the breach happened, and they're still dealing with stuff, but they just managed this better, which is weird. I wasn't a huge fan. Oh yeah, one person wins a lot of channel points. Who just won all of them? Somebody just won 8,000 points. Oh dear. Alright. Okay, so here's the plan, guys. We have 90 minutes till the next game. I'm going to put the stream down and then bring it back up for the next game. But I always like raiding people, if that's okay with you. We're going to raid somebody in the meantime. So let's find somebody that we like, that we can drop in on and say hello. And then, yeah, we'll see you guys in 90 minutes, so an hour and a half. And we're going to be on to it. 7k channel points. Oh, no. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Oh, here you go. Let's raid Zaspar. I really like Zaspar. He's a cool guy. Let's do this. Zaspar is trying at the moment to increase his any percent speed. So I'll see you guys back here in about an hour and a half. I'll probably load up in an hour. I'm going to get some food, and then we'll get going. And yeah, thanks for joining me. And again, yeah, say hi to Zaspar. He's a really cool guy. He's really quick at the game. He's ridiculously quick. So I'll see you back there very, very, very soon.